Emma had always disliked old houses. When her grandmother passed away and left her the family's abandoned estate deep in the New Hampshire woods, she planned only to visit for a single weekend to clear her head. The house was a relic from another time, with its creaking floors, dusty corners, and heavy oak doors that groaned when opened. Tall pines surrounded the property, casting long shadows that stretched across the yard like reaching fingers. The first day passed quietly. Emma explored the dusty rooms filled with forgotten furniture and photographs of people she didn't recognize. Everything smelled of mold and old paper. The house felt empty, but not silent. Faint creaks and soft scratching sounds came from the walls and ceilings, as if the house itself was breathing. That night, as darkness settled over the woods, the air inside the house grew bitterly cold. Emma wrapped herself in blankets, listening to the wind howl outside. But the sound that made her skin crawl wasn't from the wind. It was from within the house. Soft whispers, like threads of breath, floated through the air. They seemed to come from the floor above, murmuring in a language she couldn't understand. Sleep came fitfully. Every time Emma drifted off, the whispers returned, louder, closer, forming broken words that tickled the edge of her hearing. Once, she woke to the sound of footsteps above her ceiling, slow, deliberate, pacing back and forth. The second day was worse. Objects moved without explanation. A photograph of her grandmother appeared in the kitchen, though she was sure she left it in the bedroom. Doors she closed were open again. A chair in the living room had shifted an inch to the left. Small things, but enough to fill her chest with cold dread. The attic door bothered her most. Each time she passed it at the top of the staircase, she felt a breeze, cold and sour, leaking from beneath. The door was locked when she arrived. Now it stood open by an inch, creaking softly as if inviting her in. On the third night, the whispers turned into voices. They called her name from the attic in long, drawn-out syllables. Emma pulled the blanket over her head and prayed for morning. But morning did not come. The clock in the hallway froze at 3:33 a.m. The darkness stretched on, endless and unnatural. Finally she rose, gripped by fear and exhaustion. With a candle in hand, she climbed the stairs to the attic. The door was wide open, waiting. Inside, the room was filled with shadows that moved as if breathing. In the center stood an old mirror, its glass covered in grime and cracks. Emma wiped the glass with trembling fingers. Her reflection stared back, but it did not copy her movements. It smiled. The figure in the mirror stepped forward, pressing a pale hand against the inside of the glass. Emma couldn't move. The mirror rippled like water. Cold hands grabbed her shoulders from behind. She gasped, but no sound came out. The reflection smiled wider as Emma felt herself pulled backward into the glass. The last thing she saw was her own face, staring blankly from the other side as the figure from the mirror stepped into the real world, wearing her body like a mask. Downstairs, the house fell quiet. The whispers faded. Outside, the wind carried soft laughter through the trees.